Hello YouTubers, it's me again, and today I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray and DVD update for February 2018. And I have a whole load of Blu-rays and a whole load of DVDs. Let's start the update, shall we? Well, starting with the Blu-rays, we have Jumanji. And this one is one of my favourite films with Robin Williams in it. I think Robin Williams is one of his great performances in this movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think I can't really remember anything from this, but it's a little bit forgettable, but I did enjoy it, so it's Jumanji. Next up we have The Grinch, which is one of my personal favourite Christmas movies with Jim Carrey. And I actually went to see the newer one by Illumination as their new movie, and that one was really good as well. Yeah, I remember fully enjoying this one, so I just needed my focus of my camera. And this is one of my favourite Christmas movies, so I definitely recommend checking out The Grinch. Next up we have The Mask with Jim Carrey. This is a really great movie, but I just can't really remember anything from this. And also for the Grinch, so a green creature called Grinch, who basically lives in Whoville, and it's a cave. But I forgot to mention that. But anyways, The Mask, I absolutely love the... Oh, I think I've forgotten what it is, but yeah, a pretty forgettable movie. Next up we have Tron, the original classic, which I thankfully paid too much for this. Yeah, it's got a load of bonus features on here, and then yeah, Tron, it's a pretty good movie. Next up we have Ice Age, which is Blue Sky's first movie. Yeah, it's a really good film focusing on a group of animals living in the Ice Age. Basically the main three, Sid, Manny, and Diego, basically find a baby, and basically they're trying to return them to their human. I think that's all I can remember from this, but I did enjoy the Scrat scenes as well. I thought Scrat's really funny, even though he just sniffs and screams. That's all he does. So yeah, that's Ice Age. Next up we have Surf's Up, which is a really great movie focusing on a group of penguins who basically go surfing. Yeah, basically having a party as well. Yeah, so that's Surf's Up. That's all I can remember from this. Next up we have Monster House, which I think is a pretty crap film in my opinion. Even though the animation looks alright, but the actual film looks pretty bad. But I know it's scary for younger viewers. Yeah, but it is not bad, but it is quite crap in my opinion. Kind of makes me scared at first, but now I just find it okay. Because that's Monster House, where people think that their house is a monster. Next up we have WALL-E, which is one of my personal favourite Pixar movies, and I've also upgraded this from DVD to Blu-ray, and I also did it with The Grinch, Ice Age, Surf's Up, Monster House. Yeah, I did upgrade this to Blu-ray. Yeah, and it's also a two-disc set. And this is a really, really great, and the more special features that are exclusive to Blu-ray. So that's WALL-E, really good film focusing on a robot called WALL-E and basically makes friends with another robot called Eve. Yeah, I think that's all I can remember. Next up we have Madagascar, Escape to Africa, which I've also upgraded this from DVD to Blu-ray. Yeah, there's on BBC One last Christmas, and yeah, I did record it as well. It's where all the animals actually tried to fly back to New York City, but then they crash land on an African wildlife refuge, where Alex is actually reunited with his parents. And then I think that's all I can remember from this. Yeah, to me, it's not really the best Madagascar film, but still great. I think the third Madagascar is the best, in my opinion. My personal opinion, anyway. Next up, we have Hotel for Dogs, which I've also upgraded this from DVD to Blu-ray. And I remember thoroughly enjoying it when I was young. Yeah, which is a really good Nickelodeon movie. Which I also got this from a charity shop for a good price. Yeah, that's Hotel for Dogs, pretty good movie. Next up we have the Wallace and Gromit stuff, which I also upgraded this to Blu-ray. So we have the complete collection, which includes A Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, A Close Shave, and A Matter of Life and Death. Yeah, I've seen A Matter of Life and Death when it was first aired back in 2008 on BBC Three, and they're all quite good. They're great to watch on the BBC. Yeah, and there's also been a ride called the Thrill-O-Matic, which is also at Blackpool. And then, yeah, I think A Close Shave is the best Wallace and Gromit short. I do have the Curse of the Were-Rabbit on DVD. And it's such a shame that there was no more of these produced. Because, of course, Peter Sallis now sadly passed away back in 2017, who voiced Wallace. Which is very sad, so they can't do any more Wallace and Gromit shorts, unfortunately. But honestly, I definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, so just for the special features alone. So that's Wallace and Gromit: The Complete Collection. And likewise with World of Invention, which is basically a series which is science themed. They basically talk about inventions and everything. And it's also such a shame that it used to be on BBC One back in 2010. And it's quite a shame that it's not on TV anymore. But yeah, all these episodes are half an hour. Yeah, basically it's a good series. Next up we have the Despicable Me movies, which I also upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray. It starts with Despicable Me. This is a really good film focusing on Gru being a bad guy, and now he's a good guy now because he's taking care of three girls, which Edith, Margot, and Agnes. Yeah, and this is a really good film. And it also includes 3 mini-movies, which are Home Makeover, Orientation Day, and Banana, which I don't know why they're switched round. And there's also one super silly Funland game, which wasn't included on the DVD, and that was Freeze the Minions, which Freeze the Minions is a pretty rubbish game, but Feed the Creature and Tenali are good games as well, so that's my thoughts on Despicable Me, which the Minions are quite good. And then we have Despicable Me 2, which I actually got it for Christmas back in 2013 on DVD. And then earlier, back in January this year, I also upgraded all of the films to Blu-ray. Yeah, that's Despicable Me 2. It's a good film. Grew now as a wife called Lucy, and then basically making friends as well, and then all the minions are actually ejected purple by El Macho or Eduardo, whatever you like to call him. And I also enjoy playing the Despicable Me Minion Rush game on my iPad, and that was also really good as well. And it includes 3 other mini movies, which are Panic in the Mail Room, Puppy and Training Wheels, which I do have the mini movies collection on DVD, but I might get rid of that since I have them all on DVD. Yeah, so that's Despicable Me 2, definitely worth picking up if you like the first one. And here we have, I know DVD Review Studios doesn't really like that one, but I actually like it when I saw it in the cinema. That's Minions. Yeah, I did see Despicable Me 2 in the cinema, and that was really good back in 2013. And this one, I did see in the cinema back in 2015, which is really good, where Kevin, Bob, and Stuart are going on an adventure to find a new boss called Scarlet Overkill, which she's played by Sandra Bullock. And I do quite like the scene where Bob had grown giant robotic legs as well, and you really got me with playing. Thought that was a hilarious scene. And then I like the scene where Kevin was so big as well. I love that scene. It's probably one of my favourite scenes in this as well. And another scene I do quite like where Scarlet was telling the Minions the story about the 3 little piggies, which the Minions are actually wearing pig nose and pig ears as well, and Scarlet was actually the wolf as well. Yeah, and I thought that was pretty hilarious. But anyways, that's the Minions. Let's move on. Yeah, I'm planning on getting Despicable Me 3 soon. Next up, we have Rio, which is a really great film focusing on a group of birds who basically go on an adventure, and they also have a good time at the beach, and they have a good carnival as well. Just a little bit forgettable, but anyways, that's Rio. Next up, we have Rango, which is one of my personal favourite Nickelodeon films, and I do also own this on DVD, and I also upgraded it to Blu-ray, and also likewise with Rio, forgot to mention that. But Rango, one of my personal favourite Nickelodeon movies. Yeah, it's a triple play edition. Yeah, and also it's a good film focusing on a lizard or chameleon, whatever you like to call it. Rango, who basically cleans up a town of dirt, and then he makes friends with a fish. I remember these 4 owls who basically tell us the story about Rango. Yeah, the extended cut adds some extra scenes. But I do prefer to watch the theatrical cuts. Yeah, but anyways, that's Rango. Yeah, I also picked it up from a charity shop. Next one, I also upgraded this to Blu-ray, Kung Fu Panda 2, which, not really nice. I think some people don't really like this, but I like this, but I do kind of prefer the first one more. Yeah, where Poe and his friends go on an adventure somewhere where I don't know. Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 2 is a little bit forgettable, but it was okay for £1, I guess. More stuff I've upgraded to Blu-ray. We have Cars 2, which and also Kung Fu Panda 2. I need to get 1 and 3. I have 1 and 3 on DVD. So Cars 2, I really enjoyed that one, such as scenes where Mater is actually being a spy, and then they actually make friends with Holly Shifwell and Vin McMissile. Basically spy cars, for some reason. And also, I think that's all I can remember from this. And also, Lightning McQueen and Mater go on a race, and McQueen finds himself in a spy plot. I know he loses in the first race because Francesco is won, and also because of Mater telling him to go outside, and he thinks Holly's saying that he doing good, but he actually went the wrong way, and then that made McQueen lose the race, and then I know he did win the other 2, and then at the end they all prepare for a Radiator Springs Grand Prix, and then a jet flies home with Alicia Well and thing like Missile. But no, I don't really want to spoil the movie. But anyways, that's Cars 2. I think I honestly prefer this over the first one, even though people say it's the worst Pixar film. Next up, we have Romeo and Juliet, which I really enjoyed this movie. We're focusing on two gnomes called Romeo and Juliet, who basically fall in love with each other, and they live with other gnomes. Well, yeah, I did go and see Sherlock Gnomes, and that was really good. Yeah, and this one's also a double play. Yeah, but Romeo and Juliet is really good. Even though I think some people don't really like it. Next one, I also upgraded it to Blu-ray. We have Hop, which is from the director of Alvin and Chipmunks and the creators of Despicable Me, which is a really good illumination film, and it's a really good film to watch at Easter. But I actually like this film, to be honest. Focusing on a rabbit called EB, who basically tried to look for eggs as well. Yeah, I know it's the only live-action movie to be made by Illumination Entertainment, but most of them are animated. I never really understand the consistency. Yeah, I know it's got Russell Brand in it as well. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Hop. It's a really good movie to watch at Easter time. Next one, I also upgraded to Blu-ray. Quite a lot of these I've upgraded them to Blu-ray. We have The Adventures of Tintin, The Secrets of the Unicorn, directed by Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson. And director and producer Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson. Yeah, this is a really good animated film directed by Steven Spielberg and directed and produced by Steven Spielberg and produced by Peter Jackson. And this is a really good film focusing on a boy called Tintin who basically go and find a unicorn. Yeah, it's also a good Nickelodeon movie and a good film by Amblin, with Steven Spielberg working on Amblin. I think Steven Spielberg is a good director. But anyways, that's my thoughts on The Adventures of Tintin. Next up, we have Planes, which I went to see in the cinema when it first came out, and it was a really good film. Focusing on a plane called Dusty Cropper, who basically finds himself in a race as well. And this is also a spin-off of Cars. Yeah, and the sequel, Fire and Rescue, looks quite interesting, which I went to see, and that was good as well. So that Plane's definitely worth picking up if you like Cars or you like any Cars film. I know it's not made by Pixar for some reason. Next up we have Turbo. I think quite a lot of these I've upgraded to Blu-ray. Next up we have Turbo, which is one of my absolute favourite DreamWorks movies about a snail called Turbo or Theo. I know all the other snails call him Theo, but he always wants to be called Turbo. And yeah, this is one of my personal favourite DreamWorks movies. And yeah, about a snail called Turbo or Theo, and whatever you like to call him, who basically actually wants to become a real racer. That is his big dream anyway. But anyways, which I went to see in the cinema. And it was good, so that's my thoughts on Turbo. And I quite like the scene where Turbo was actually bouncing towards the finish line and trying to get to the finish line, but Gay actually drags his damaged car, and then he got disqualified for cheating. Next up we have the Lego Movie, which I went to see in the cinema when it first came out, and it was really good as well. Thanks on a master builder called Emmett, who basically makes friends with Wildstyle, or should I call her Lucy, because Emmett thinks Lucy is a good name. Yeah, despite this movie, I really enjoyed it. I really love Batman introduced into Lego, although the first time we see him in Lego is actually Lego Batman the movie DC Superheroes Unite. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the Lego movie. Next up we have Postman Pat the movie, which is a really good film that I watched it at Christmas time on Channel 4. And that was really good as well, focusing on a postman called Pat, who basically goes to a TV show talent competition, which is called You're the One, and he does whatever he can to win his wife Sarah a holiday to Italy, which Sarah always dreams of a holiday in Italy. Yeah, and there's also quite a lot of Pat bots in it as well. I like the scene where Patmore was actually reversing at speed into the sorting office, really randomly talking, in a robotic voice. Yeah, which Stephen Mangan, I never heard of him, but he plays Pat, and then Sandra Tellers, when she played Julian, and then Susan Jordan, which she actually voiced Sarah. Yeah, and I do quite like the two side characters, Josh and Wilf. And I also do like the newer characters as well, Edwin Carbuncle, and there's also Mr. Brown. And then, yeah, and there's also a Jess Boss as well. Yeah, and there's also another scene where there's actually a load of Pat bots as well, which is one of my favourite scenes. Yeah, that's Postman Pat in the movie. And I do quite like it near the end where all of Pat's friends have arrived at You're the One. Yeah, and Pat looks surprised to see all of his friends. Yeah, which I know his friends don't really appear much in this movie. Anyways, next one is Nativity 2 Danger in the Manger, which I actually love Nativity, which is one of my personal favourite films to watch at Christmas time. And I actually even love this film, and I originally watched this film about last year in a drama class in high school, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I recently watched it on Netflix, and that made me want to rewatch it. And I actually love this. I actually can't believe I saw it in the cinema because it feels so concise. Yeah, and I did go and see Nativity Rocks and the third film, Dude, Where's My Donkey? Yeah, I've seen those and they were good, but I'm planning to get 1 and 3 sometime soon. And also, on my birthday, I am gonna get 1 and 3 and the 4th one. And see if they're even more good, but I'm also only gonna get them on Blu-ray. So that's Nativity 2, Danger in the Manger. Next up we have Shaun the Sheep movie, which I also upgraded to Blu-ray. And I also went to see it in the cinema. And that's really good. Yeah, back in 2015. And then I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm also very looking forward to Shaun the Sheep movie 2 Farmageddon this year, which is coming in October. And yeah, where the farmer actually goes missing, and then Shaun decides to have a day off from the farm, and then they all go to the big city to find their farmer. But I know the scene where Trumper kidnaps Shaun and Bitso and puts them into prison as well, and then they all break out of prison, and Shaun and his friends actually try to figure out a plan to get the farmer back home. Yeah. Yeah, I recently watched it in the cinema, and it's good as well. And it was also a network premiere for it on BBC One back in Boxing Day 2017, and it was on last Christmas. So yeah, that Shaun the Sheep movie, I definitely recommend checking it out if you like Shaun the Sheep. And yes, I'm looking forward to the sequel. Next up we have The Secret Life of Pets, which I went to see in the cinema 2 times. First of all, I went to see it in my high school, and then I went to see it in cinema with my family, and then I'm really thoroughly enjoying it, focusing on a dog called Max, who basically which his owner Casey brings in a dog called Duke or Duke, whatever you live in the United States. In the UK, we say Duke, and then they all go on an adventure. And also, the first scene, Max didn't really like Duke, but then he made friends with him. Yeah, and I also upgraded this to Blu-ray, even though it also has a DVD inside. Yeah, and as you can see, it's another triple play. Yeah, it's a really good movie. I definitely recommend checking out this movie, and I really am looking forward to the sequel this year, as Illumination's new movie after The Grinch. Next up, we have 9 Lives, which is a really good film focusing on a grey cat who basically, I think I don't really remember too much, but it is a little bit forgettable when I went to see it in the cinema. And basically, this film is quite short, 87 minutes. Yeah, and I do quite like, and I really love that cat, and I think he's really cute. And I did go and see a street cat named Bob as well, and that was really good. So that's 9 Lives. I definitely recommend checking it out. Next up, we have Wonder with Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and Jacobs and Tremblay. And this is a really good film focusing on a boy called Augie Pullman, who basically wants to become a space boy when, he always dreams of going to space. And and I really loved it when I went to see it in the cinema, even though I've seen some younger viewers may find upsetting, but I don't think it's that upsetting. But anyways, that's Wonder, pretty good movie. Next up, we have My Little Pony, the movie. Now, you might have seen it in my last update, but I think I'm going to show them all again in case you didn't see them. This is a really good film when I saw it in the cinema, back in the end of 2017. And this is a really good film focusing on all of the ponies: Pinkie Pie, Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Fluttershy, and Applejack. And they basically all go on an adventure to save their homeland, called Ponyville. And I really do love the We Got This Together song as well. And also all the ponies are also doing a serenade festival as well. Yeah, that's My Little Pony, the movie. Definitely worth picking up if you like My Little Pony. But I'm not really a big fan of My Little Pony anymore, but I think I mostly like the movie. Next up, we have Peter Rabbit, which I did see in the cinema last year. And I haven't really watched this Blu-ray yet, but I heard really good things about it. And so I even enjoyed watching it in the cinema. Yeah, which focusing on Peter, a rabbit who basically making friends with other rabbits. I think it's pretty much the same thing as the Smurfs in a way, but a little bit forgettable because I can't really remember any much. And finally, to conclude all the Blu-rays, we have Christopher Robin with Ewan McGregor. This is I grew up on Winnie the Pooh, and then it's a good film focusing on Christopher Robin, who is all grown up, and then he lives with a wife and daughter, Eva and Madeleine Robbins as well. And this is a really amazing movie since I even saw it in the cinema last year. And really good movie, and I'm hoping it'll be on TV next year. So that's Christopher Robin. And let's move on to the DVDs. Moving on to the DVDs, we have Peter Pan, which is one of my personal favorite Disney movies as well. And this is a really good film focusing on Peter Pan, and basically mostly 3 children, John, Mike, and Wendy, and they basically all go to Neverland, followed by Peter Pan in a way, and then this is a really good grab from Amazon back in 2017. And this is really enjoyable. I've seen it when I was young. Yeah, this is just good. Next up, sticking with the theme of kids movies, we have The Lion King, which is also one of my personal favourite Disney movies. And I might upgrade it to Blu-ray soon and give it a rewatch and see what I think of it in HD and better quality. So that The Lion King, really good film, focusing on a cub called Simba who basically really wants to become king when he's older, and he also makes friends with Nala, who is another cub, and then they all go to an elephant graveyard, and Simba gets into big trouble by Mufasa, and then they all have fun, and after explaining that the king's from the past. Yeah, and basically, in the sad part, Mufasa actually dies during a stampede of wildebeests. Yeah, which is sad, but I don't really find it sad, that scene, but I didn't cry, and I do love the Hakuna Matata song, which is really good. But anyways, that's The Lion King. Yeah, and yeah. Next up we have Babe, which is one of my all-time favourite movies. So, for instance, I don't really need the DVD anymore, but I might get the Blu-ray. I might upgrade it to Blu-ray. But I really want to go back and rewatch these different cuts. Yeah, for instance, this is one of my all-time favourite movies. Focusing on a pig called Babe who basically wants to be a sheepdog, and then he basically makes friends with some other animals, and then there's also Arthur Hoggett and Esme Hoggett as well. Yeah, so the sequel, Pig in the City, looks very, very good, which I might include in the next update. So yeah, that's Babe, really enjoyable movie. Definitely worth picking up if you like any of them. Next up we have Balto, which is certainly one of my favourite animated movies from 1995. Yeah, I think it's on a dog called Balto. Basically joins a team of lots of sled dogs which are basically AKA husky dogs as well. This is set in Nome, Alaska. And even though I think it's snowing all the time in Nome, Alaska, yeah, that's my thoughts on Balto, and it also includes a featurette called Balto Endurance, Vitality, and Intelligence, which also says that on his statue, which is basically in New York City in a way, but yeah, really good film, and I do quite like the live action sequences with a girl and her grandma walking through New York Central Park. Yeah, and then it changes to animation, but there's also live action at the end as well. It changes back to live action at the end. Yeah, where Blaze actually found the statue of Balto, and then they were reading the sign, and then they all go home, and then the credits appear. Yeah, as they start to go home, and it shows Balto's statue hotting up, and the film's credits appear. But anyways, not going to spoil too much. That's Balto. Sorry if I'm spoiling too much of the film. Next up, we have 101 Dalmatians, starring Glenn Close. Honestly, I imagine it to be a quite good movie. I think it's actually Disney's first time with live action. I think it's the first Disney classic to have a live action remake, which I am excited for the live action Lion King. Sorry if I didn't really mention with that. Yeah, Glenn Close and 101 Dalmatians is a good film to watch. I think we're moving into films and shows for teens. There we have Independence Day, with Will Smith. This is a really good film with Will Smith. Yeah, this is a really good film with Will Smith. So I haven't said it. But it is a little bit forgettable, especially for a 12-rated film. Basically, There's a big planet coming in, no, saucer coming in and destroying the city, I think. I think that's all I can remember about this film, quite forgettable. Yeah, I'm not going to bother showing any discs because it'll just take too much time. Next up we have Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. This is a really good Adam Sandler comedy film, but I might upgrade it to Blu-ray sometime soon. And this is a good film focusing on a hockey player and going to a golf course to save his grandmother's house. Yeah, this is a really good film. And I do quite like the song Magic, which is sung by Pilots, which is shown at the end credits. Yeah, that's Happy Gilmore, definitely worth picking up if you like it or not. Next up we have a film that's aimed for very, very young kids, and that's A Simple Wish, which I know it's for you, but it's aimed for younger kids, because, you know, Martin Short, Mara Wilson, and Keith Lee Turner. Yeah, good film focusing on a girl called Annabelle, who basically tries to think of some wishes and trying to see if they can come true. And then she also has a frog as well. But I think that's all I can remember about this film. Quite forgettable. I picked it up from HMV for a good price. And so, yeah, that's A Simple Wish. Next up, we have Flubber with Robin Williams, which is a really good film, which I just bought this today. And just for a project I'm working on next week. Just, as you can see, the box is a bit cracked up there, see? But I don't mind, I can still keep it, by the way. But I've heard Robin Williams is a good actor. But it is a little bit forgettable movie. Next up we have Small Soldiers, which is a really good film focusing on a group of toy action figure soldiers who basically come to life and they start bringing in the controls too seriously. That kind of frustrates me. Anyways, Small Soldiers, I absolutely enjoy this movie, but it is a little bit forgettable. But it's not only as good as Toy Story, but it is okay. Next up we have one of my personal favourite movies from my childhood, and that's The Adventures of Elmo in Grouchland. Great film focusing on a Muppet called Elmo, who basically goes to Grouchland, he went through a bin, and then he went through a colourful tunnel, and then he finds himself in Grouchland. And also and Huxley, you know, that Barney takes away his blankets. And there's also Bug as well. And there's also Oscar as well. Yeah, and it's also they had their own series called The Fuchsia Hotel, which is being aired on CBeebies as well. And that's The Adventures of Elmo in Grouchland. This is a very, very good film, especially birds and early scenes. And it's also another film from my childhood, and that's Thomas and the Magic Railroad with Peter Fonda, Mara Wilson, and Alec Baldwin. This is basically based on a children's TV show in America called Shining Time, and where Mr. Conductor, who originally was Ringo Starr, would appear, and then he would tell the kids stories about Thomas and all adventures and friends, all the over at 9 total, and it'll cut to an episode of the show. Yeah, I recently bought this back in 2007, I'm not mistaken, because it's been reissued in 2007, but I might as well get the original copy. I might get rid of that, but I don't really know, and it couldn't really be released on Blu-ray. The only Thomas and Friends Blu-ray that's released is Day of the Diesels, which I'm not going to get that anyway. Anyways, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, I absolutely love Diesel 10 and Lady's introduction to the series. I think it's only Lady's only time in Thomas. And I know Diesel 10 is also only in the movies, well, except he's only in I think he's not in any of the episodes, well, except for the CGI episode called The Missing Christmas Decorations. Yeah, and this one, they actually try to stop Diesel 10 as well. And there's also gold dust being used in this as well. But anyways, don't want to spoil anything. But anyways, that's Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Next up, we have Big Mama's House with Martin Lawrence. I don't really have the rest of the Big Mama's House films, but I will get them eventually. Yeah, it's deep on the cover. Yeah, this is a really good film as well. Yeah, focusing on Big Mama as well. I think she's also a man in a dress as well, just like Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Brown's Boys. Yeah, but anyways, I think it's a little bit forgettable, so that's Big Mama's House. Next up, we have Monsters, Inc. with Billy Crystal and John Goodman, Mary Gibbs, Stephen Bruce Kelly, James Kohler, Jennifer Tilly, Bob Peterson, John Ratzenberger, Frank Oz, Jeff Pigeon, and Sam Black. This is a great Pixar film, by the way, and it also includes 2 shorts, which are For the Birds and Mike's New Car. Mike's New Car is the best Pixar short I've ever seen as well. And basically, Monsters Inc. I do quite like Monsters University as well, since I even saw University in the cinema. So Monsters Inc. really good Pixar film, focusing on 2 monsters called Mike and Sully, who basically go to Monsters Inc. and trying to send Boo back to her home, but she's the little girl in it. And I did quite like the scene where Celia was like, Michael Wazowski! Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny scene as well. Yeah, I know it's a group of monsters who basically try to learn to be scary in some ways. So yeah, but anyways, that's my thoughts on Monsters, Inc. Next up, we have Scooby-Doo the movie. Absolutely a good film, focusing on a dog called Scooby-Doo, and basically all his friends Shaggy, etc. Yeah, this is a really good film, by the way. Yeah, quite a good film. We enjoyed that one, but I can't remember anything about it. Yeah, but anyways, that's Scooby-Doo the movie. Next up we have Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, where they start bringing in monsters to work on here. Yeah, but anyways, I think this one is a little bit better than the first one, but I've seen Mystery Begins and Curse of the Lake Monster, and they were good too, but I'm not really a fan of the animated stuff anymore, but I do love the live-action movies. The live-action movies are probably the best in my opinion. Next up we have Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas with Brad Pitt, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Michael Pfeiffer, and Joseph Fiennes. And this was, in my opinion, very good. So yeah, I don't know, it's quite a long update because of the running time on my camera. Yeah, it's a good film focusing on Sinbad, and I don't know what this character is. And they basically find a book, and they basically go on a journey somewhere where I don't know. But anyways, that's Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Quite a forgettable Count Dracula film. This is Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and Kim Beckinsale. Yeah, but a little bit forgettable Count Dracula film. It was on ITV a couple last year. Yeah, I watched it and it was good, but I need to watch the whole thing because I was busy doing other stuff. I need to finish that. Next up we have Elizabethtown, which is quite good, even though I haven't seen it yet, but I will give it a watch as soon as possible. Next up we have The Magic Roundabout, which is very much damaged. Yeah, which I might rebuy it. And there's also a US version called Dougal, which a lot of people don't like. But I actually like that one, but I do kind of prefer that one. It was a good film when I was a young kid, and then I'll give it a rewatch and see what I think of it now. That's my thoughts on the Magic Roundabout. Next up, we have a quite forgettable thriller movie. This is Red Eye, with Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams. Thea takes flight. I don't really recall it, but anyways, that's gonna be in the rewatch pile sometime soon. Next up, we have Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which is a really good film focusing on Wallace and Gromit as usual. You basically go on a pest control team called Anti-Pesto, and they all try to capture rabbits as well. So that's my thoughts on Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah, the best one, like I said, is the what was it? Close Shave. Yeah, next one is Family Guy: Happy Freaking Christmas, which is a really good Family Guy DVD. And yeah, see my card. Yeah, Family Guy: Happy Freaking Christmas. Great film. No show. I think I'm starting to like Family Guy, even though every single DVD is rated 15. Well, except for this one but this one is actually a 12. I think it's the only Family Guy DVD to be rated 12. I don't know. I think it's the only one to be rated 12. But I think I'm starting to like Family Guy, even though it's an adult animated show. Next up, we have the Simpsons movie, which is a really great movie focusing on all the Simpsons as usual, who are all yellow. And so, yeah. Haven't seen it in a while, but I definitely recommend you check it out. Homer wants the pig, and then Springfield's been encased in a gigantic dome by the EPA, and the Simpsons family are declared fugitives. And this is a really good movie. Next up, we have Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. I remember thoroughly enjoying it when I first watched it in high school, and it was really good. Marvel movie. I don't have the first one or the 2015 remake, but I will get them soon. Yeah, but anyways, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is a good film, but I can't remember anything about it. Next up, we have Dan in Real Life with Steve Carell. This is a really good film with Steve Carell. A really good comedy film, which I bought from a charity shop last year. Yeah, I think it's a little bit forgettable. Next up, we have Marley and Me with Jennifer Aniston and Owen Wilson. I think it's quite sad at the end where I think I can't remember anything about it. Next up, we have Iron Man, which is probably my number one favourite Marvel movie of all time. And, focusing on Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., and basically he tries to save the world as he's dressed up as a robot. And I do quite like the post-credit scenes where he meets up with Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, which he's basically the director of the S.H.I.E.L.D. And as he talks to him, the screen goes black as well. Yeah, that's Iron Man, my personal favourite Marvel movie. I haven't seen any of the rest of them, but I do have all the Hulks and all of the Avengers and all the Spider-Man movies except the Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Next up, we have The Tale of Despero, which is a really great film focusing on a mouse who basically goes on an adventure. I think that's all I can remember about this. Yeah, I know the mouse is brave, but I think that's all I can remember about this movie. This is another one. I think it's a little bit forgettable, likewise with this. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. It's a rental copy. I think I paid nearly 10p, nearly £1 from a charity shop. Maybe the first couple of minutes were still quite good, but then it kind of went downhill. But I haven't seen the first Hellboy film, but I need to get that just to go with my other Hellboy films. Yeah, it's not really too anything special. Next up, we have another film with Adam Sandler, and that's You Don't Mess with the Zohan. I think some people don't really like that one, but I think it's quite good, even though I think it's not really that bad. But anyway, that's You Don't Mess with the Zohan. I think it's a quite forgettable Adam Sandler comedy film. Next up, we have The Boy in Striped Pajamas, which is a really good film focusing on a boy called Bruno and another boy called Schmall, and they all both make friends together. And yeah, where Bruno actually goes walk in the woods, and then he meets up with Schmall. He is behind a barbed wire fence, and yeah, with a concentration camp as well. Yeah, and it was on BBC Two back in the end of January. Yeah, which is really late as well. But anyways, that's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Next up, we have Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is a really good movie done by Wes Anderson, and also starring Meryl Streep and George Clooney. And this is a really good film based on the book by Roald Dahl. And this is a really good film. I used to watch this on Film 4 all the time. Yeah, focusing on Mr. and Mrs. Fox as well. And they basically... Oh, I think I've forgotten what happens in it, but I know it is stop motion, but it's not really an Aardman film at all. Even though it is stop motion, it's instead made by Regency and Fox and Indian Paintbrush. Yeah, but Aardman couldn't really have an introduction to this one. But anyways, next up we have Race to Witch Mountain with Dwayne Johnson. Now, this is a really good film as well, but it is quite forgettable, but I think I can't really remember anything from this. Next up, we have The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Parnassus, I think that's how you say it. It's a rental copy, and I think I paid nearly £1 for a charity shop for a good price, and I think this movie's quite good. It did please me, so yeah, this should be a good watch. Next up, we have The Karate Kid, the 2010 remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. Really good film as well. I don't really like the first three films. They're quite, well, not really good, but this one was quite good, and I really enjoyed the remake. Next up, we have The Next 3 Days with Russell Crowe, which I also bought today. Yeah, it's a good direct. So also from the director of Crash, which I haven't seen Crash, but I might give it a watch when I'm 15. But The Next 3 Days, not bad, but it is a little bit forgettable. Next up is another film I bought today, and that's The Perks of Being a Wallflower with Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller. It's also from the producer of Juno. I think it's a pretty good coming-of-age film as well. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I will give it a watch sometime. Yeah. Next up is Paranorman, which I know it's more for teens and very young children, but I know it's a bit of I think it's kind of a horror thing. It's a bit of a spooky animation. But it's a little bit forgettable, but anyway, that's Paranorman. It's a pretty good Laker film, and I'm very much looking forward to The Missing Link, so that's Paranorman. Next up, we have a film that I think it's pretty much okay, and that's 9. I've no idea what this is sequelizing to. I've only seen pretty much the majority of some of the Laker films as well. I think it's nowhere near as good as any Laker films, but I think 9 is okay, as I've seen it with my brother. Even though the animation looks pretty not bad, but the animation looks a bit spooky. Next up we have a mini-movie collection of Despicable Me, Hop, and the Lorax, which I've seen all of those movies and they were good. I actually haven't really I've seen this in all the mini-movies and they were good. Sorry. And it includes Home Makeover, Orientation Day, Banana, Phil's Dance Party, Wagon Ho, Forces of Nature, and Serenade. And it also includes a sneak peek of Despicable Me 2, which is just basically 2 trailers, a few TV spots. So yeah, that's the mini-movie collection. Next up we have the Angry Birds movie, which I went to see in the cinema when it first came out, and it was really good. Yeah, a film focusing on a bird called Red, who basically tries to get his anger under control, and then he meets these other birds, Chuck and Bomb, as well, in anger management class, alongside Matilda and Terrence. Yeah, I know, I love the scene where they all go to Piggy Island, and then they basically trying to get their eggs back when the pigs actually take away their eggs. I know they're green piggies, but in real life they're not really green. They're actually pink as well. They're normally pink in real life, but in Angry Birds they're green for some reason. Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to the Angry Birds movie too. Yes, that's the Angry Birds movie. Next up we have a pretty forgettable film when I went to see it in the cinema, and that is Ratchet and Clank. To me, I think it's a pretty forgettable movie with Sylvester Stallone and Paul Giamatti and James Earl Taylor and David Kai. Sorry, I just got a bit of a cough. Anyways, Ratchet and Clank, I absolutely love. I never played any video games of Ratchet and Clank before, but I did see it in the cinema, and that was good. Yeah, but anyways, that's Ratchet and Clank. Halfway through the update. Almost at the end. Next up we have Mother's Day, which is a really good film focusing on a group of ladies, or women, played by Jennifer Aniston, Kate Hudson, and Julia Roberts, and Jason Sudeikis. This is a good film as well. Yeah, it's quite a good film, really enjoyed that one. Next up we have, I know my mummy didn't really like that one as much, that's Trolls. I know it's for girls as well, just like, I think it's kind of copying the same thing as, My Little Pony. Which I've seen My Little Pony and that was good. Trolls. I think it's pretty awesome. Since I even saw it in the cinema back in the end of 2016, and that was good. And that was Trolls. Next one is probably the funniest movie I ever seen in my DreamWorks, and that's The Boss Baby. Yeah, with Alec Baldwin. Yeah, this is really funny, since I even saw it in the cinema back in 2017. And I recently bought it back in 2018 last year. And focusing on a boy called Tim, who basically lives with his mum and dad, and then they bring in a baby who is wearing a tie and jackets, and he basically talks as well. And they basically go on an adventure, so that's The Boss Baby. And finally, to wrap up the whole updates, we have a film by Aardman, and that's Early Man, which I also got for my birthday last year. And I also went to see it in the cinema back in 2018 last year, which was the beginning of last year. Yeah, focusing on a group of cavemen who basically go to a football stadium to save their cave as well. Yeah, I love the scene where Dirk was actually rolling and bouncing over the stadium seats as well. I thought it was a really funny scene. So that's Early Man, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to Shaun Street Movie 2. Wow, that was a big update. So thanks for watching my DVD and Blu-ray update for February 2019. Quite a long update, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my next video, and stay tuned for the next video, and goodbye.